Hey, and welcome back to our podcast, My Sisters TBR. I'm Stacy.
And I'm Rebecca. We're sisters co-hosting a podcast of all things bookish, where we'll be talking about our past, current, and future reads.
And trying to keep everybody up to date on the book world. Things that we find interesting.
Yeah. Hey, this podcast is our opinions.
It's our baby.
Yeah. We can do what we... No, we can't.
I think this month has been like my unicorn. I read a lot of books this month.
You read a lot.
I did. I don't know where it came from. I'm now able to read physical books because my little grabby, grummy, the creature that I'm raising, she's no longer trying to grab the books out of my hand, so I'm able to read physical now. So I think that has ignited the passion for reading again.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Especially when you're so used to, like... I mean, the Kindle is good.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice. But there's nothing that beats a good...
Yeah.
The good smell.
Yep.
of those physical books. And at least now you can pick your way through your physical TBR that you have in your library. Yep.
All 858 books.
For whoever is keeping up to date on our episodes, the first episode you had 800 books.
Yep. And I'm currently in a no buying books ban, so I don't know where they're coming from. They're multiplying. It's not my fault.
I don't see that happening for very long.
But I forgot how clumsy hardcover books are. I've been reading ACOTAR, and Ilsa lent me her hardcover set. Bless you. But like I've struggled to like hold like
they're big.
How does somebody forget to read a hardcover book? Like it should be like riding a bicycle. But
I don't know. A big clunky bicycle.
But like when I was reading Little Toy Car, I was like bending the cover back, and I was just like going to town with it. I think I'm a paperback gal.
Yeah, I agree. And I used to like be so anal over my paperbacks and like not bend the spine. I haven't bent this one. I've been actually very good with this one. I love a book that has character and has a story. Like
that
when
looks
I thrift
loved.
my books, they need love.
Have you seen the TikTok where you take like the front cover and the back cover and you start like working your way into the center?
Yeah.
Like pulling it back.
Mm-hmm.
I did that with Little Toy Car.
Oh, did you find like?
Yeah, it didn't crack the spine whatsoever. So,
okay,
little hack for y'all.
Okay. Yeah, this month has been the opposite of a unicorn for me.
So like a donkey? A mule?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I just have not been reading very much at all. And I can't even blame it on Hogwarts Legacy anymore because I also haven't been playing that. I don't know what I'm doing with my time.
I don't know what you're doing with your time.
I'm also chipping away at the 800-page fifth Harry Potter book.
Mm-hmm.
Slowly but surely.
Yeah. You got a big project.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't start my month all that great. I was reading A Not So Meet Cute by Meghan Quinn.
Okay.
And I think I really talked this one up.
Oh no.
In the last episode.
It wasn't not worth the hype?
I rated it 3. I did really like the spice and the banter between the characters. A 5 out of 5 for that.
Okay.
But I just felt like there were so many red flags with their relationship, and
here we go.
Yeah, I know I've already explained like what the book was about, but for any new listeners, it's about Hux and Lottie. Hux is looking for a fake fiancé to close an important business deal. He made up that he had a pregnant fiancé.
How do you... Okay.
It was,
Continue.
So he was obviously, he's desperate for this business deal. So now he has to find somebody to...
impregnate.
Pretty much. Lottie just so happens to be looking for a fake rich boyfriend. Basically to make her on-again, off-again ex-best friend, ex-employer jealous at their high school reunion.
Okay.
So, like, amidst their fake dating, they actually start developing feelings for each other.
Of course.
Yeah. As goes every other fake dating
Mm-hmm.
romance. There's like a very fine line that they are constantly overstepping. And I found that like Hux was getting angry with her because he was having feelings. And like he was trying to keep things professional. Right?
Men annoy me.
Oh, there were so many red flags. I don't know, like there was just so much like spark between them.
Mm-hmm.
And the spice was really good. I loved a lot of parts. I have to say, like going into it, I loved how funny Lottie was. She was a very comedic character.
I like that.
Like her breakdown, I just felt like I could connect with the way that she just jumped to conclusions. She was like, oh, okay, well, I have to go find a fake fiance. And then she just starts like prowling the streets looking for a fake husband.
Good for her. Yep.
Very proactive. Yep. Later, like I'm going to say maybe halfway through the book, she really started to grate on my nerves. Like the way that she was immature about things. Now, all of these were very obvious from the start, which I found almost adorable at the start.
Yeah.
But then towards the middle of that book, I was just, nope, like red flags galore. She just did not handle situations at all like I would have expected an adult to handle.
And how old is she supposed to be?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I just felt so like disconnected with her, and I just wish that she kept that same spunk that she had at the start. She ended up just sounding like a spoiled brat towards the end of it, right?
Great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you said, like there's a fine line when it comes to stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. It just wasn't for me, and I know a lot of people did rate this quite high.
Oh.
They really enjoyed it, yeah. But I don't know, I guess it just...
What did you rate it?
I rated it a 3.
Okay, so not a good start to February.
No. It gets better.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, it gets better. I mean, I read like 13 books this month.
That's actually crazy.
Was it 13? Maybe it was 10.
We'll find out.
Mm-hmm.
The first book that I actually finished this month was like 2 days ago. And it was a short story. So this was Knox by Cindy Smoke.
Everybody knows what we feel about the name Knox.
I feel like everyone can feel our giddiness every time we say the word Knox. Yeah, so I literally finished this February 21st. It was 62 pages. I like my short stories, okay?
Mm-hmm.
This was definitely a romance.
Definitely according to the cover.
I feel so embarrassed whenever I start like updating my Goodreads with those covers, because there's people who like it, and I know they only like it because it's like they know what it's about.
Pure filth.
Yes. They don't expect anything less. That's fine. But when they see a jacked, shirtless man,
yep,
I'm pretty sure you can put 2 and 2 together. So this was a dual point of view. Love those.
Mm-hmm.
Grumpy versus Sunshine.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So Evie is in a mountain town of Laurel Falls to dog sit for a month. Okay. As a side gig, and she's looking forward to reading and relaxing by the fireplace.
Okay, that sounds like a vacation I want.
And she's also a book editor.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. Mm-hmm. And she's just hoping to find a big mountain man to occupy her time with. So, enter Knox. Grumpy, big, muscular, tall, dark, and handsome Knox. Lives next door to where she's dog sitting, of course.
Mm-hmm.
After some arguments, you can only guess how things end up.
There's really only one way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. 62 pages. It's a romance. Obviously, you know what's going to happen. What I really liked, though, like on the description of this book, Cindy Smoke, she wrote, the town also contains a surprisingly high percentage of single and smoking hot mountain men per capita who are just waiting to fall immediately in love. That's totally believable, right? No? Well, you aren't here for a believable story. You're here for an enjoyable, over-the-top insta-love.
Oh, yes.
And that is what it was, for sure. I know it's a short story, so it has to be very quick to the point.
Mm-hmm.
They moved in together after like a month, and like were engaged in a month. It was just...
very fast-paced.
It's an insta-love.
Yeah.
Like, yes, and I knew that.
Mm-hmm.
It was a bit weird.
Could have done without.
Yeah.
Or they could have just, like, fast-forwarded, like,
a
couple years.
Yep. At least say even a year.
Yeah.
because like they did fall like for each other, which was fine. I don't know, but
her little blurb makes me feel like there's more. Are there like different stories of different men in this town? Because she's sort of setting it up to be a.
There's another one. There's like a 2-part, I guess technically, from another point of view. I don't remember. Dash, I think his name was.
Okay.
I started reading it, but I got confused because I thought it was going to be somebody already brought up in that story, like and the one from Knox. I don't think. Mm-hmm. I just got confused and I just stopped. So I just left it.
Okay.
But it's another short story, and it had the exact same vibes
similar
as this one. Yeah. But I rated that a 4.
Oh.
I'm just I love my smut. Okay?
I know.
It was good. Again, I do enjoy reading the short stories, but I can't connect.
It's hard to find those short stories that you will be able to get the depth.
Which, like, 62 pages, I know there's not enough for me to grasp onto, but it is what it is. What was your next read?
Molly by Krystal Veitch. 284 pages, but I rated it a 2.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yep. You're obviously on the same wavelength.
Oh, God.
I really, really wanted to like this book. Like, I'm a sucker for the single moms, the young moms. Like, I find that those stories I connect to.
Yep.
There were parts that I loved about this book, obviously, because I didn't DNF it.
Fair.
I thought Molly was a pretty great character. She was lacking some depth, but again, like, you can't really be picky when you pick up books that are less than 300 pages.
Mm-hmm.
In a nutshell, Molly meets Ryan, who's her tattooist. Okay, so he shows an interest right from the get-go, but it's like borderline stalkerish. Okay?
Okay.
Like, he's showing up at her work all the time and, like, really, like, pestering her to go on a date with him. She's obviously hesitant because she has a daughter, she has a business, she's, you know, she needs to take care of herself. She needs to make sure that
she gotta be careful.
Yeah.
I get it.
So, like, he's all the time showing up and, like, pestering her for dates and to go out with him, and she gives into him. She does like him. Like, she does say, in, like, it's a dual point of view, so she does say that she does like him. When she does give him a chance, a first date, a female shows up who's very close to Ryan. I don't know. It's like he has 2 brain cells. He thinks that there's no problems at all with this being, like, really close with this female who, quite obviously throughout the whole book, has a thing for him, right? And he's, like, got these blinders on, and he's completely pushing aside Molly's concerns and just saying, oh no, she's like a sister, you know, like.
That's what that's what they say until they end up in bed with them.
Yeah. She's, like, constantly inserting herself into their relationship and showing up to give him, like, lunch and stuff. Like, it's just really, and he sees nothing wrong with this.
Red flag.
Yes. I hated just how he, like, just kept blowing off Molly's concerns. Like, she has a kid to take care of.
Yeah.
She doesn't have time for this, right?
Yep. She doesn't need him.
Yep. This is also advertised as an age gap. He's supposed to be 11 years older than her. And he did not seem like he was older than her. Like, he just screamed early 20s.
Okay.
Like,
I mean, yeah, especially for that behavior and, like, getting on like that. Yeah. Okay.
It just, I was bored with it throughout the whole story. I could see everything coming from a mile away.
Yeah. You want to be surprised with stuff
exactly,
like that.
And nothing surprised me with this book.
Okay.
Nothing.
That's boring.
Yeah. And I hate being so negative about books. I hate, like, giving a bad review.
Yeah.
But
you gotta be honest.
Yeah. And I just did not feel like this book was a memorable book. The only reason why I remember half of the stuff is because I had it wrote down.
I mean, for 2 stars, like, that's
yeah.
I'm surprised you finished it.
It was a struggle. It really was.
Oh my.
Yeah.
My next read was Midnight Valentine.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about this.
By J.T. Geissinger. I literally finished this 5 minutes before I came over here to record. This was romance, 326 pages. I don't want to read out the synopsis, though.
And side note, I also had this on my finished books of this month. What did you rate it?
I rated it 5.
But is a hesitant 5?
I think.
Oh, mine was a confident 5.
I know, you were so confident with that. But, like, I struggled. I really did.
Mm-hmm.
It took me a long time to finish it.
Mm-hmm.
There was just a lot of parts that made me very frustrated.
Yeah.
But looking back now, I'm like, okay, it all makes sense.
Yeah.
I completely get it, and I love how everything adds up now. So basically, like, I just talked about this last episode, like, I gave the synopsis, but I feel like I should give it again. The main character, her husband dies, she ends up moving to a small town 5 years later to basically make their dreams come true by renovating this B&B.
Mm-hmm.
Then obviously the contractor in charge of the renovations is this dark, mysterious man who is literally mute.
Yeah, he does not talk.
Mm-hmm.
Which really adds to the mysterious vibes.
And then just takes off from there. I'm not going to go into it because...
I know, you really have to go into this book blind.
Yeah.
And if you have read any of JT's books, you know that her books need to be read without reading anything.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even look at reviews.
Yeah, like, I'm glad that I didn't.
Yeah.
I kind of expected where it was going
just
because I read Pen Pal before.
Yeah.
And
I think I sort of egged that on a bit too because
yeah,
I had mentioned,
yeah,
like Pen Pal, don't read anything.
Yeah. Which, like, I'm glad that I didn't.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy with the outcome. I actually read did you read the acknowledgements at the end of the book?
No, I don't think I did.
So she said that she was going to have...
Oh, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have ended very differently, and I don't think I would have been happy.
No.
I would not have been.
She was going to make it end in a very sad ending, but instead she said that, like, as she was about to write it, she was like, her heart couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So she decided to give the main female character, like, the ending that she deserved.
Yeah.
After all of her heartache.
Yeah.
And it was very, very nice.
I just found she was so relatable.
Yeah. She was, though. Yeah. I loved her, and I loved, like, her internal dialogue of thinking that she was going insane.
Yeah, she was pretty comical, I gotta say. There were times in this book that I was, like, clutching, like, my chest. Like, what is happening?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is going on? There's a part when she walks into a shed. I'm not going to say anything else about it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to give any indication. Yeah, at the end, when she walks into that shed, I was like, what is she going to find?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was a bit afraid. I didn't know which way the story was going at that point.
Yeah, I'm glad that it went the way that it did.
Yeah.
But, like, I was, like, expecting the worst, honestly.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be something super... Oh, okay, I still just shouldn't give away stuff.
So going back to her inner monologue, when she says, he wants to play hide the sausage with me. I died. Oh, my God. But at the end, when he says, I'm not going to give any context to this whatsoever, but whoever has read this book will understand. When he says it wasn't enough.
Oh, yeah.
I cried.
Did you cry? I cried.
And then she was like, what wasn't enough? What wasn't it? Oh my God. Yeah, like right there. I know this was like literally the end of the book, but that just made it all worth it.
Yeah.
Like, I was very frustrated during a lot of the book, but worth it.
Yep. And I kept trying to say that.
Know. You kept trying to push me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I rated, I'm going to say like a 4.5. Just because, like, I can't ignore my frustrations.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were there for a reason.
Yep. But I think she's good at that. She's good at bringing out emotion in her readers. And I think that's a really good...
That's a really good author.
Yeah.
That she does.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. The tears this woman has pulled out of me.
You need to read Perfect Strangers.
That is up next.
Yeah, that is another one that I was weeping.
I'm literally adding that to my TBR right now.
I like how she writes her female characters and how real she makes it. Like she had said, why is it that when a woman's been through a lot, she's expected to handle it gracefully with fake smiles and a stiff backbone, but when a man's been through a lot, He's given full license to storm around like a giant baby throwing a tantrum. How freaking true is that?
That is so true.
Yep.
Like, how do you be able to put that into work? Yeah.
Yep.
See, she's 10 out of 10. What was your next read?
The next ones that I read was the Tea Dragon Society graphic novels.
Okay.
Oh, they were just so freaking adorable.
I don't think I've ever heard of them.
First one was 72 pages, second was 135 pages, then the third one was 137. Okay. So trilogy, it is complete. I don't know if Kay O'Neill is going to do any more with that universe, if she has already. I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. But, I hope so. I rated it a 5 again. All 3 of them were 5 stars.
Wow.
The first novel is about Greta. She discovers a tea dragon in the marketplace, which leads her to learn about the dying art form of tea dragon caretaking from the kind tea shop owners, Ezekiel and Eric. She befriends their shy ward, Minette, and Greta sees how the craft enriches their lives and eventually her own. So that's just the synopsis for the first book. Mm-hmm. The second one tells more of Ezekiel's and Eric's backstory.
I like that.
Yeah. And then the third one brings it all together. Mm-hmm. And they bring in more characters. It's just so cute how these little dragons, she's like taking care of these little tiny dragons. And when they're happy and well taken care of, they sprout like flowers on their heads. Okay, and this adorable. Is what you make the tea out of.
That's so cute.
Yeah, there's more to it. There's so much more to it. It was a very quick read. It was just such a cozy read. And the art was incredible. It just really makes you want to be in that universe, taking care of tea dragons, like foraging, adventuring. Like,
I love cozy reads like that.
Yeah. But like everything about these just really drew me in. The characters, the representation, the inclusion, the magic. It was really heartwarming. If you want to feel like you're being hugged by a book, read these, honestly. I love that. And they're on Kindle Unlimited.
I was just about to ask you, where can I find this?
Yeah, okay. Kindle Unlimited. Super quick reads.
Done.
I finally finished The Inheritance Games.
Ooh.
By Jennifer Lynn Barnes. It was a mystery. YA. I rated it a 4.
Okay. Well, at least, like, your long span of reading that, at least it was worth it.
Yeah, it was. And honestly, the only reason why I dropped it down to a 4 and not a 5 was because I found it was easy to put down.
So you didn't find that, like, it was...
I put it down and I literally did not touch it for 2 weeks. And I did not miss it.
Okay.
And that I think is a bad sign.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It didn't really stick with me. Now, there were parts, yes, that I just was page after page, just flicking through it.
But then when that settled down.
But yeah, there were times when I put the book down and I just forgot that I was reading it. And I don't like that. No, but the story itself was enough that I couldn't rate it any lower than a 4.
Okay, well, that's good at least.
Yeah, it's about Avery. She's a teenager who unexpectedly inherits a multi-billionaire's fortune. There are stipulations to her getting the money. Tobias Hawthorne disinherited his family. He left his entire fortune to Avery, stating that she must spend a year living in the Hawthorne house with the family he just disinherited.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. There were questions upon questions and puzzles. Like, Tobias was a big fan of puzzles and games. So it was like, I kind of felt almost like Nancy Drew, right? Like it was, yeah. Like everything was this big mystery, trying to figure out why he included Avery in all this. She has no connection to the family that they're aware of.
So did they know each other before?
No. Her half-sister was taking care of her. They weren't well off at all. She kept getting letters, her sister, stating that Avery inherited all this money. And of course, the first thing you're going to think is, that's a scam. Yeah. So she kept like brushing off the letters. Mm-hmm. But like they finally realized that it's not a scam anymore and they inquire about it. And then the ball just starts rolling.
Oh man, what a good ball that is.
Yeah. Like where's my Tobias? Not only are you trying to figure out like why Avery inherited all this money, what the end game was there, but you're also trying to figure out who's actually on her side.
Oh, so there's people like getting close with her.
Yes.
Possibly for bad intentions.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nancy Drew.
So it almost took me 2 months to finish this book, solely because I was putting it down and just forgetting that I was reading it.
Yeah.
So, but it was still a great book.
Okay, as long as it was worth it.
And there's 2 more books, so I will eventually get around to that. It did end on kind of a cliffhanger. It set up the second book.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that needed to happen.
Yeah. So, I am intrigued, and I would like to read the rest. The other one that I finished was ACOTAR. Oh, it felt so good to finish a fantasy novel.
I would say after this long break.
Yeah. I rated it a solid 5 stars. I was so pleased with it. As I was reading it, I was trying to pinpoint where I left it the last time I started, years and years ago.
Yeah.
And it was past the middle of the book. What did I do? Why did I not finish it?
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah, I read a lot of it.
You and your DNFs.
I don't even remember DNFing it. So
you did at some point.
Yeah. As soon as I started this book, it had its claws in me. I just devoured it, the whole book. And then as soon as I closed it, I started the second.
Oh my god. I love books like that though. I found out the same way with Flock.
Yeah.
As soon as I finished Flock by Kate Stewart, I ordered the next 2.
And
Immediately. Oh, yeah.
Don't talk about Exodus.
I know.
We love rainy days, don't we, baby? Okay, back to ACOTAR, A Court of Thorns and Roses. I don't know if I said if it was by Sarah J. Maas, but I think we all know that by now. So it's about 19-year-old Feyre. She kills a wolf while hunting, only to have a more terrifying beast demand retribution from her. So she's taken beyond the wall that separates the mortal world and the Fey realm, where she must stay as punishment for breaking the treaty. So a human amongst Fey, what could possibly go wrong?
Wonder. Great.
This checked off so many boxes for me. I love fantasy. It's what kickstarted my love for reading. Mm-hmm. And this it sucked me right in. I loved everything about Feyre. Her loyalty, her compassion, her emotional growth. And as a reader, it really helped to learn about the Fey realm with Feyre. Mm-hmm. I mean, she's obviously aware of the Fays, the fairies. There was still so much for her to learn, and it really helped me learn it as well. Mm-hmm. I didn't feel like I was being slapped in the face with all this information. It was a gradual...
Yeah, because she was also learning. Yeah, I like that.
I wish I read this before Book Talk spoiled so much of it.
Yeah, TikTok does that a lot.
But I am still really enjoying it. So
that's the main thing. Yeah. Yep, just try to forget about the things that Book Talk has showed you.
Yeah, it's hard. But I'm excited about the second one because I know this is a favorite of a lot of people.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Yeah. When we've talked about how intimidating fantasy books can be, you mentioned A Court of Thorns and Roses. Yeah. But honestly, it wasn't that bad. Okay. Once you got the hang of some of the names, the rest of it is literally just reads like a regular book. And there's some spicy scenes.
There is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. I mean, not to the level that we've read.
Yeah.
But
I need a little bit to keep me interested.
Yeah. Well, it throws you some crumbs.
Okay. Can I have some more, please? Okay.
Oh, speaking of.
Oh, God.
I finally finished the audiobook for Priest.
Oh, God. Yep.
I started this in December. It's an 8-hour audiobook. I could have potentially finished it in a day.
Oh, 100%.
But I rated it a 2. I rated it 2 stars.
That's 2 stars this month.
Dang. I'm not even bringing up my DNFs this month. I'll leave that and I'll compile a good list after a couple months of my DNFs because that could get pretty juicy.
Yeah, that's a whole episode right there.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I got a lot of recommendations for this book. It was talked up pretty high.
Mm-hmm. I've seen it a lot on TikTok as well.
Yeah. The cover alone was enough to bring me in. I thought it was a very, it was artsy. Mm-hmm. It wasn't.
Oh yeah, lots of.
It wasn't like your Knox. It wasn't as bad as Knox.
Yeah, the cover of Knox was literally just a shirtless man, and he looks naked. That's the only reason I started reading it. Like, okay, you're coming home with me.
Yeah. I was told to, like, the best way to experience this book was through audiobook because the audio narrators were, like, spot on. Like, they did sound very soothing.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, you would have to have a soothing voice if you're going to be talking very sexual.
Well,
like
that's a good point.
Yep.
I found, like, I've listened to a couple samples of other audiobooks because I have so many credits and I don't want to waste them.
Yeah.
And I've listened to samples and some of them sound like kind of robotic. Like and I don't like that. No, that. But the narrators for Priest, 5 out of 5 alone just for the narration. Okay. Yeah, like it was really well done.
I wonder who he is. Let me see him.
No.
Oh, does it not match the voice?
No, it's not that. It's just, I mean, no, like, I have an image.
Okay.
And I am not.
Okay.
I am not.
Can I search him up then?
Okay, it's narrated by Jacob Morgan and Elena Wolf.
I don't care about her.
I'm just going to go back to this now that you've, like, shattered my heart. I think the book just wasn't for me. A very basic summary of it is it follows Tyler, who's a priest, and Poppy was a stripper.
How? Okay.
Yeah, I know. Like, it sounds really far-fetched.
Yeah, that's like one extreme to the next.
Yeah. Her confession, which just paints her as a manipulative, immature homewrecker.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
The whole story was just, like, surface level. No depth to the characters. The history of the two characters was lacking so much that I really could not feel an ounce of connection with them. It read as, like, a cheap porno.
That's not enjoyable.
No. Absolutely no plot. No, that's a lie. There was plot, but it wasn't good plot. You know?
Yeah. So, like, this person, the author, who was it by?
Sierra Simone.
Yeah, so she just wanted to make it as sexy as she could, or
I guess
what she thought was as sexy.
Yeah, and maybe, like, try to bring in some, like, taboo subjects, you know? But it didn't feel like it, I don't know. Like,
you can't force that stuff.
No. The spice, oh my god. Like, it had me clutching my pearls. Okay. Saying something. But
clutching your pearls. Okay. So comparable to... I can't even ask if it's comparable to Faking with Benefits because you never read it.
I can guarantee that it was worse. Well, not worse, but that the spice was more. How
would you know?
Because I can't see how you can describe it any more than how Sierra's described it.
Okay, fair.
Very religious. Like, I mean, I expected that because of him being a priest.
Yeah.
But I thought it was going to be more of a, like, that he walks away from it sort of thing, right? Yeah. But it's not.
So he's still... Oh. Mm-hmm. So he's a bad boy.
Yes.
He is not going to heaven.
The way that the scenes are, no, definitely not. But he seems to think that he has.
Okay. I catch your drift there.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And it happens in the church on the altar. Top level messed up. You are speechless. Do you want my Audible login?
No, I'm going to take your word that it's only a 2-star.
I didn't end off the month very well.
Yeah.
And I didn't start the month very well. But I had some 5 stars.
Balance.
So,
yeah. That's fine. We're going to start March off with a fantastic boom with our featured read, which we are not saying yet until tomorrow.
That's true. I'm so excited.
I know.
Yeah, that was it. Other than
the featured read.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good month, though.
Mm-hmm.
You only had two stars. You didn't DNF them, so that's progress. You're getting better.
Yeah. That's a good way to look at it.
How many did you DNF this month?
I think I only DNF 2 this month. Okay. So it's not bad. It's really not bad.
Okay.
I think it's quite obvious based on my ratings of some of these books this month that I think I'm going through a like a rut with romance because I'm getting back into fantasy, like the like ACOTAR and the Tea Dragon Society trilogy.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm getting back.
Yeah, you're shifting back to your old self.
Yeah.
Okay. You had a good run with the
romance.
I
feel like a lot of the romance that I'm reading now I feel like they're just rehash of ones that I've already read.
Yeah. I mean, there's only so many plots that you can have. Yeah, that's understandable. Okay. Put the romance on pause.
Yeah.
Get back into the fantasy.
Bonus points if, there's some romance in the fantasy, I guess.
I mean, hey. So, yeah, for the featured reads, Little Toy Car by Gabe Oliver.
You finished this one a lot earlier than I did.
Okay. So, when I first started this, it's not a book that I normally would read because if anybody follows along with our episodes here, we all know that I love fast-paced romance.
Yeah.
Smutty, just not much depth.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
It is fine.
I'm aware that I sometimes lack. Yeah, and that's okay. But so like I struggled through the first couple of chapters. I want to say until he got to high school. Then after high school, I couldn't stop. I just kept going.
Yeah.
I literally could not put this book down then. It was so good.
Yeah. I felt like I knew Jean better at the start, from the beginning to
But see, I feel
to
like
his adult.
I feel like that was done on purpose. Because he was also struggling knowing what he wanted in life.
Yeah.
Or who he was as a person.
Yeah.
So I think that was like, I don't know, I completely got that. I felt like I struggled knowing who he was up until high school. And I think that had to do with how, like, I found the chapters very jumpy, even within the chapters. But
yeah,
I think I know a reason for that.
Oh.
Because he talks about how he was diagnosed with ADHD. And I feel like the jumpiness is from his ADHD.
Yeah.
Like, that makes...
I could see.
Right, like...
Giving you the feel of,
Yeah, like, people who have ADHD, like, they jump from one thing to the next very quickly. They can't stay on track. And I found, like, that came out in those first couple of chapters.
While reading it, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I got anyway. But I did struggle with that, and I know, like, when reading some of the reviews for this book, that a lot of people said that as well. That, like, in between the little paragraph breaks... with those little, like, dots.
Yeah, it got a little cloudy, I think. Yeah, not sure where it was going, when it was going, and where it came from, sort of.
Yeah, I know. I found, like, there was times where it would just pick up, it would end one sentence, like, say, like, at his home, and then it would pick up him in church, right? Like, it'd be very jumpy. But I do think that that's just because of him having ADHD.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, I kind of, looking back at that now, like, I actually really like that.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. But then, like, I feel like I have so much that I want to say about it, but it's going to have to wait until the end of the episode.
Right.
So we're just going to talk about this spoiler-free right now, and then at the end of the episode, after the end credits, as we say,
come back.
We'll come back and actually talk about things with spoilers.
Yeah. For anybody who doesn't know, this book, it follows Jean from childhood to adult, and just all of the absolute crap he has to go through in his life. It is listed as a psychological coming-of-age novel, and I feel like there really isn't one way to condense this book into one genre. Like,
no, definitely not. Definitely not.
There's just so much to this novel.
But it's so real.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like this had to have been inspired by... not necessarily maybe in Gabe's life.
Oh, yeah, but
from somebody that he knows.
Maybe.
Or something like that. I don't know, but it just felt so real.
Yeah, he's a really great writer, I have to say. Like, the start of it, I felt kind of like there was too much being described. I kind of felt like my hand was being held throughout the start of the novel. But at some point, and I don't know what point it was, it just flipped and it just read more coherent.
Yeah, I agree.
And there was less... metaphors.
But see, maybe part of that has to do with Jean getting older. So the first couple of chapters are when he's like 5 years old, then he's like 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old. Your vocabulary isn't very good then, right? So maybe that has something to do with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I found, honestly, I think it was when he went to high school.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I could not put it down. And then when he, like, just started branching out and becoming his own person then, and, like...
I like how he still stayed compassionate and, like, a genuine, nice person
Through
no
all
matter
of
how much he got trampled.
Yeah,
because
literally.
How does one person have so much happen to him and still come out as a good person?
Yeah. So the church aspect,
yeah,
I thought that was going to break him.
Basically, he got away from it just to get tossed into an even more extremist group.
Yeah, like that was very eye-opening, though, I found. There was a lot of things in this book that I was like, wow.
Yeah. I was hesitant with the whole religious aspect of it. Like, I don't like reading that. I just rated Priest 2 stars because of it.
Yeah.
But I found that it wasn't as bad because it was against Jean. And, like, the way that Jean responded to it. And I didn't feel like it was being preached to me.
No.
And I think Gabe did really well with that.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just looking at my notes that I have wrote down here now. One comment was, I hate Colton and him pushing Jesus down Jean's throat. Colton was very pushy.
Yeah.
I did not like him.
I wanted to, like, throat punch him. Yes.
He deserved it.
Yeah.
Colton was bad. I also have another note here. Wow, I actually hate this Melissa bitch. Yeah, so, like, his relationship drama that he went through, and he got absolutely used, and it was so sad.
There was so much abuse. Check trigger warnings before you read this novel.
Yeah, like, there was homelessness, abuse, heartache, rape, like, drug use, alcohol abuse. Yeah, so definitely check the trigger warnings. But overall, as sad as some parts of it was, I actually very much enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Like, I rated it, I'm going to say a 4.
Yeah, like, to me, I was sort of on the fence between 3.5 to 4. But I don't know, like, after talking about it again, I'm leaning more towards 4 again.
Yeah. It's just, like, I love the message that it had. Like, life can change so drastically.
Yeah.
It opened my eyes to a lot of things, I gotta say. And especially going back to, like, the church aspect of it. I never realized how bad some of the extremists are.
Oh, yeah.
And how people take some of the scriptures
so
very
seriously.
Literally.
Yeah. Yeah. And how it feels like a cult.
Definitely.
Yeah. I know.
Overall, yeah, fantastic book. 4 stars. So that's all we're going to say about that right now. But if you want to continue listening to our discussion at the end of the episode, if you've read the book or if you have no intentions of reading it and still want to listen to our discussion, then stick around. We'll give you the heads up of when to get out if you don't want to hear any spoilers. Yeah.
So out of this month, like, who was your favorite author out of this month's reads?
I don't have much to go off of.
I know, you only have 3.
But I know I only have measly little 3 books. No, I'm going to have to say JT.
Yeah.
Gonna have to. Because that's 2 now. Like, I loved Pen Pal a lot more.
Yeah.
Than Midnight Valentine. It's almost up there. Midnight Valentine is almost there. But I just love her writing style and her humor. And just the way that she describes, like...
I'm a big fan of her heroines, I have to say.
Yeah.
Like the male characters, yes, 100%. I'm all for her male characters. But her female character, she knows how to write a badass female.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Like, that's 2 that I've read now. And they're like 10 out of 10. But yeah. And her men. Like, men written by women.
Cannot go wrong.
So much better. So who was your favorite writer out of all of your reads?
I would also agree, JT, just, top notch. But as for, like, new authors that I read, I might have to say Sarah J. Maas.
Okay.
She has a lot that I'm looking forward to reading. I mean, the big 3. So.
Yeah, I can see that, though.
But honestly, too, Gabe is a close second just because I am excited to see what else comes out of his beautiful mind.
Yeah, I completely agree. That'll be my second as well.
Okay.
Yeah, this was a good month on the books. My 3, but it was still, the quality was there.
Yes. We're all about quality over quantity. So I think that pretty much clues up this episode.
I think so. Yep. Now, We obviously have more discussion at the end of the episode that we're dying to get to. So again, if anybody has any recommendations for books that they want to hear us talk about, just shoot us a message and let us know. We'll gladly take some recommendations into our TBR, into my sister's TBR.
Keep an eye out on our Instagram tomorrow. We're going to be posting March featured read.
Woohoo! I'm excited.
Yeah.
I already know some people who are
Currently reading
this book, but they don't know that it's the featured read yet.
Oh, so we should get lots of discussion for...
We better.
Yeah.
I will be knocking on some doorsteps.
There'll be some disowned friends.
Yep. I won't be knocking on doorsteps because that's that.
Why would you knock on steps?
Don't know. They wouldn't hear that.
Knock, knock, knocking on doorsteps.
Thanks for listening to us blabber on again for a 4th episode.
I can't believe.
How do we still have people listening to us? All right. Well, thanks for joining us again.
Thanks.
It's been fun.
Toodles.
Bye.
Oh, hi. Welcome back.
Welcome back. So, we will now be discussing the little toy car.
All sorts of spoilers, so if you're planning on reading it or still in the process, chances are the very first thing that's going to be spoiled is the very ending of the book.
Yeah.
So, hope you're prepared.
Yep.
I have to say, my favorite part of all of it is the full circle. How they start out in the car, in the Volvo.
Yeah.
And it ends with him and his girlfriend in a Volvo.
What I love the most about that is the change in perspective.
Yeah.
Like, he's actually very happy about how he's living in the car now with his girlfriend.
Yeah. It brings him back to the happiest that he's been in his life. And he didn't realize it was the happiest.
Yeah. Perspective,
right? Like, yeah.
Oh, I love that so much. Yeah, so, like, along the way, like, I just found, like, in between him starting out in the car when he was 5 years old or 6 years old, and then ending the book of him living in the car, I just found it so interesting, like, hearing about everything Jean was learning about life during all of that. Learning about life, his, like, temperament, and how fast everything can turn bad, and, like, with love and loss. Like, there were so many life lessons.
Oh my gosh. Way more than any one person should ever have to endure.
Yes. Oh my god. Like, it's so sad, but, like, he came out as a better person because of all of it.
Yeah.
And another thing that I really liked was he made so many good points about so many people keep chasing their pinnacle.
Oh, yeah.
So I have some highlighted quotes here from the book. Jean said, "Chad may have been right. Love is great, but it wasn't the pinnacle. The pinnacle was to use that love to better the world. That is what I wanted to discover. That is what I wanted to find. That is what I wanted to achieve. The pinnacle." And another one was, I think this was his last girlfriend, or, like, his girlfriend that he ended the book with.
Carol.
Yeah. You don't constantly have to be chasing after something, she suggested. Life is full of little insignificant moments that carry no meaning or no purpose at all. They are often beautiful moments. You can miss out on them when you're constantly chasing after something else. Yeah. Like, I learned a lot from this, honestly. Oh my god, like, just to stop and just focus on, like, the little parts of life. Like, not, like, just, because I find I'm always stressing over what's coming next.
Yeah. What's next, and how do you get to that next level up?
Yeah.
And you don't always have to.
Yeah. Just stop and smell the roses.
I like how the toy car was brought up multiple times throughout the book. The whole book, he was constantly reflecting on that car. And one point throughout it, it switches. Like, he looks at that toy car as what started all of the downward downward spiral. Then, like, towards the end of it, like, I don't think he felt that way about it.
Yes, it brought on a lot of negative things in his life, but, like, that's where he got to where he was in the end. He wouldn't have gotten there if he never ever stole that car.
Yeah. What a small, like, insignificant thing, right?
Right?
That turned out to be so significant.
Like, everything, what is it, like
Domino effect.
domino effect, right? Like, what, those things just mess me up so much. And another thing, how he says, that little toy car represented the Volvo station wagon, the poverty my mother and I lived through in the back of it. It represented the truck I crashed into James. It represented the accident with Melissa. It was all bitter memories. Almost every tragedy in my life was connected to that little toy car.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, a lot happened after that.
Yeah.
After he said that quote, like, he did not look at it that negatively anymore.
Mm-hmm. One thing that I've questioned, though, since reading the book, is why didn't he, throughout the book, try to reach out to his half-sister?
Okay, I thought about that as well.
So I know, like, he says throughout the book that she is just like her father.
Yeah.
I understand that. I'm just wondering at what age she was, and, like...
I know, I've kind of wondered that too. Like, I guess with her being so much like Jacob, maybe he just had a lot of... I mean, there's obviously a lot of trauma.
Yeah.
But maybe there was just too much and he just didn't want to...
I guess, yeah.
Like, but at the same time, I would want to reach out to find out to make sure that he wasn't also beating her.
Yeah.
I tell you now, the most satisfying part was when he was beating the living daylights out of Jacob.
That part confused me because it started out with him beating him up, like the chapter. But then it like went back in time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it brought it back to where... But there was no indication that that's what happened. It just felt like it just cut off. And all of a sudden he was beating up whoever it was, because you don't know as you're reading it.
Yeah, it just says, like, oh my god, like, what are you doing? Like,
and then it just, like, snaps back to
a different
and then
time.
it leads back up to it again.
Yeah.
Like, it's just... The jump there confused me.
It was, it was a little jumpy.
Yeah.
I don't know. In my mind, I'm still dead set on, like, all of this jumpiness is just his brain just jumping all over the place. Like, not necessarily because of his ADHD, but maybe in his head, he kind of blacked out there and then just jumped to a different... I don't know. But I just found that very satisfying. And good on him for not killing Jacob.
Yeah.
I would have blacked out and completely murdered him. His face would have been into that coffee table corner.
Yeah.
100%.
Again, just shows Jean is so much better than we are.
Yeah, he came out definitely so much better. The crap that he was put through when he went to move with his friend John. Was it John?
Is that out to California?
Yeah.
Yeah, John.
I knew something was funky.
Mm-hmm.
When he kept saying, oh, these are my brothers.
Yeah.
No, something was funky. And then Colton, I hated Colton.
Right from the start?
Right from the start. Yeah. Oh, I hated him so much. Like, hated him so much. Like, I literally, in my notes here, like, I would write notes down as I was going through each, like, chapter and stuff. Yeah, I was just like, I hate Colton. I hate him. Yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the outcome. Didn't obviously enjoy all of the traumatic events that went on. No. But they needed to be talked about.
Yeah, and I found, Gabe did not, shy away from the trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did get Ilsa's thoughts on Little Toy Car. She rated it 2.
Okay.
I don't think it's her style, right?
She's mainly into fantasy, right?
Yeah. Oh, she reads some, like, dark...
erotica.
She said, pros, I like that they kept to the theme and had Jean coming back to the little toy car throughout the book. Pro and con, it's very descriptive. You get a good picture, but it really kills the pace in some parts. Con, the chapters weren't broken up enough. You would be reading one part of the story and the next page would be something else. It was hard to push through many parts.
Okay.
Some paragraphs felt cluttered, and the way it was printed, it was hard to tell if we were at the same part of the story or moved on. The slow pacing killed me. So again, I think maybe she's more of a medium, fast pace.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. I can see that. And I mean, like, so am I, but I found mainly, like, the middle of the book is where I mainly took off. Yeah. I found that was a very much medium pace, but I can see what she's saying.
I still, like, I felt like a lot of it was to form a connection with Jean, like his character and what led him to certain parts of his life.
Yeah, definitely.
But, like, there were parts when, like, towards the end that it just almost felt like a fever dream.
Yeah.
That I was kind of like, is this still the same book?
Yeah.
Like, the same characters?
He really, like, changed his life around. That's
yeah,
for sure.
There was a really big pivotal moment where it just kind of like flipped the story upside down, and it felt like Jean was just so much different
Mm-hmm.
from like the first.
And I mean,
of course that's going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, like he was trying to better his life and trying to change up what he was doing, because obviously what he was at and people who he was involving in his life wasn't bettering his life at all.
Yeah. I like how he went from trying to pursue like the music career. It was, he constantly had his mind on getting to the top, excelling, and, you know, just for him to end up at the end of it
living out of a car, enjoying the little things in life.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I honestly, there's times I wish I could just take off in the car and just live amongst the trees in my car.
I don't think that would go over well.
It would not. I have too many kids.
Too many animals.
And too many animals.
To conclude our discussion, I very much enjoyed it.
Oh, I think I would still like 100% recommend it to if anybody wants to borrow my book.
Yep. I have things written in it, but you can borrow mine too.
But like we said, I think last episode, it is on Kindle Unlimited.
Available on Amazon. Yep, definitely recommend it.
And if you buy the physical, it's a real soft book.
It's the soft mat. Like, you can't go wrong with those.
So I guess this is where we will
conclude our episode here.
For another couple weeks.
All right, well, whoever is still listening, if anybody even bothered to stick around, thanks for joining us.
See you in 2 weeks.
See you soon. Bye.